There's an easy trick to hunting water buffalo that a surprising number of people miss. Water buffalo love water. If any guest ever asks you where to find them, send them to the lakes and swamps. Water buffalo are vital for containing and control vegetation growth in the reserve, especially during wet seasons. And their meat, fantastic. Our local beef is world class, but if you ask me, I still prefer buffalo. Won't believe it! Young Simona took the DNA test to see who was her father, Facundo the Churro or Gaston the Lying Dog. The result? Neither man was the father. Simona's search starts anew. This show always gets me with the twists. Whew, my heart. See the shed? Place your game in there. Hang it up on the hook and lock the door. Good work, thank you. It's too bad we don't have cold storage here, or you could stockpile meat for the future. Running a refrigerator on generator power would cost me a fortune in petrol. We'll need a better power source soon. When we have that power and the whole park is up and running, you will lead groups like this VIP hunting party. For now, I will assign the party to someone else while you prepare the reserve for their arrival. For example, we want our guests to have some easy fun when they get here. What's more fun than a duck hunt? We have beautifully plumed cinnamon teal. I see them all the time at Lago Perón. All it takes is some decoys and a caller to bring in a whole flock. Go to Lago Perón and set up decoys for the incoming party. I've asked a young lady named Beatriz Cabrera to lead this hunting party. Beatriz is a gaucha, born and raised on the land, tougher than most men, and the apple of my nephew Vicente's eye. I taught Beatriz to shoot myself, so the party will be in good hands. In case she needs anything, I gave her your number. If she reaches out, help her if you have the time. Lago Perón is just ahead. I trust you place those in a natural grouping. Thank you. Now we have an urgent problem. The fan belt on the generator that powers the lodge site is busted. Perhaps it was sabotaged by an energy salesman. I'll worry about that. You worry about getting the power back on so the crew can continue working. Unfortunately, we are a long way from the nearest hardware store, but as we say, lo atamos con alambre. You know, improvise, like MacGyver. Try salvaging a fan belt from the site mark on your hunter made. That's an old excavator left behind by a mining operation decades ago. You are now near the first site where I plan to build the lodge, but my nephew convinced me to select a more central location. He was right, I think, but it's more difficult to get supplies to the middle of the reserve. Case in point, now. You should see the excavator soon. I could have it removed, but there's something I like about it. It represents the failures of those who would have destroyed this place, had Fernando and I not rescued it from them. Pelotudos. Their loss is our gain. See if you can salvage an appropriate fan belt. You got the belt? Re buena. Vamos. Back to the lodge. Bring that fan belt to the generator. How are your mechanical skills? Can you fix it yourself? Okay, Edison. Flick the switch. Let there be. ¿Qué? Busted again? Mala leche. Yo estoy en el horno. Tranquila, Carolina, tranquila. This isn't your fault. It's my fault. The silver lining is that now we have no choice but to set up a more sustainable power source. I wanted solar power, but let me tell you, wind turbine salespeople are persistent. This one guy claims he can save me packs of cash. Personally, I don't think there's enough wind here. Neither does Vicente. For the sake of due diligence, can you test this salesman's claims? Collect the wind gauges at the front of the lodge. Set the wind gauges at the locations marked on your hunter made. are tired, hurting, or waiting for a certain time to hunt, get some sleep. The world will still be here when you wake up. Champions like me get 8 hours and no less, every night. The locations marked off by the turbine salesman are just ahead. We need to leave these gauges up for a while before you can collect the data. You've been working hard. Treat yourself to a hunt. There's plenty of game in the region. See what you can find. Well done. You bagged yourself a trophy just in time to collect that wind gauge data. Head back to the gauges. Well, wouldn't you know it, that salesman wasn't lying after all. Our winds are in the optimum range for turbines. We could even produce a surplus of power to sell off locally, bigger than the surplus we might get from solar. The thing is, I've waited for decades to open this reserve. Now that we are this close, every minute we delay is agony. So while we were waiting on that wind data, I ordered solar panels anyway. Impulsive maybe, but wind turbines take too long to build. I simply couldn't take the chance that our VIP guests would arrive to a lodge without power. I even paid for emergency rush shipping, so our solar panels were just airdropped next to the lake. Before I send a team out to retrieve them, can you confirm their arrival? Receipt says my solar panel should be in the area ahead of you. Do you see the solar panels? No? I hope some boludo pilot didn't screw up the drop. My nephew marked the plane's flight path on your Hunter mate. Search that area, find those panels. I haven't been to church since the 80s, but I'm praying to St. Anthony that you find those missing panels. Don't give up. You have to be getting close. found my solar panels. Whew, maybe St. Anthony did the trick after all. I'll send a crew to that location to retrieve them. Sounds like everything is there except for some cabling, which probably blew further, of course. The winds must resent that we are going solar, but they might also point us in the right direction. My nephew marked an area on your hunter made where he thinks you should look. What galls me is we had an account with this freight company for years. Whoever this drunken mess of a pilot is, missing his drops by whole kilometers, he's finished. We'll see to that. See our missing package yet? You can be far off, unlike our pilot. We don't have time to waste. I want you to shoot that package down, and hopefully nearby, Water Buffalo won't charge you. I promise you, Che, this pilot, this pelotudo is going to pay for putting you at risk like this. Until the Water Buffalo disperse, or find a way to disperse them yourself before you retrieve the package. You've got it. See, this is the last piece we need to power up the lodge. Get back there and do the honor. You can install that cabling by the solar panels. My nephew says it should be a simple plug-in. Let's hope this works. Ave Maria! It works! Parque Fernando can finally open to the public. Che, my beloved Fernando is smiling down on us. You know, he and I planned to open this place all the way back in 1983, but then he died. And one thing after another got in the way of opening. I had a family to pull together, businesses to run. Everybody doubted me, doubted I could manage it all without Fernando. Every time I spent money to improve the park, his boludos brothers laughed and called me Doña Quixote. Too bad none of them live to see this day. If I am Quixote, you are my panza. And by opening this park, we have fought a giant and won. But this is only the start of our adventures together, Che. For one thing, we need to put finishing touches on this lodge. I am the patroness for a local artisan, goes by Mad. He's not your ordinary taxidermist, more of a miracle worker with flesh and bones. He can turn most any deer hide into the softest rock imaginable. Exactly what we need for our lodge. Harvest a mule deer or a red deer, and I'll have Mad make a world-class rack. World-class.